He became obsessed with the origins of his race, the ancient birthplace that was said to lie far below the crust of the earth. Welcome to Raid Story Legends with me, LeilaFox. Hi there, welcome to Raid Story Legends. I am LeilaFox. This is a weekly YouTube series where I share lore from some of our favorite champs in Raid Shadow Legends. Today's story is for a brand new champ that is introduced as the April fusion for 2021, and that is Underpriest Brogni. Underpriest is a legendary dwarf support champ. Now, what's interesting about Underpriest Brogni is he's the first fusion where you have to collect 4 epic champs from fragments, and then you still have to level them, you have to send them, and then you're able to fuse Underpriest Brogni. We already know he's going to be a very strong champ with his block debuffs, with his shield abilities, and his A1 HP burn. He's a champ that a lot of people are going to be going for, and this fusion does appear to be pretty challenging. Let's check out his lore story. Here is the story for Underpriest Brogni, and I hope you enjoy. Vast and wealth is the dwarven realm that lies beneath the mountains of despair. Its halls of cavern stone and gold glitter with splendor in the light of myriad braziers. But the mountains are ancient. Their caverns run far beyond the domain of the dwarven king into the bowels of Teleria, and many are the mysteries that lie waiting in the shadows. There are some among the dwarves who seek these mysteries. Such madmen willingly abandon the safety of their holds and venture into the forgotten passages below to live their lives as hermits. Most are never heard from again. But for every 1,000 failures, there might be one with strength enough to become a legend. A long time ago, Brogni served the kingdom as one of the runekeepers, clerics charged with gathering and preserving dwarven lore. He was wise and learned in the ways of history, a mentor for many of his younger peers, and an advisor to the king, who ruled at the time. But the deeper he delved into the legends of lore, the more questions arose in Brogni's mind. He became obsessed with the origins of his race, the ancient birthplace that was said to lie far below the crust of the earth at the heart of the mountains. With no answers to find in the vast libraries of the capital, he vowed to unravel the enigma on his own. His apprentices and loyal warriors at his side, Brogni left the realm of the dwarves and set out to explore the ancient ruins that lay waiting beneath his very feet. For years, his expedition forged their path into the unknowable depths, gathering crumbs of the past with every ruin that they discovered. The dangers he had faced are too terrible to recount, and one by one, Brogni's followers fell in battle, their remains entombed with what little honors could be provided. Before long, the old runekeeper was left alone, wandering in the darkness without any hope of salvation. It was then he came across a cavern aglow with emerald light. Precious gems of all forms and sizes grew from the walls, glittering in the unnatural light that pierced the gloom. And amid the silence of the underworld, a soft trill, full of sorrow and yearning, called out to Brogni. Mesmerized, he entered and followed the sound until it led him to a gargantuan crystal that sat at the center of the cave. Its polished body pulsed with light, and the keening that had ensnared Brogni's mind appeared to have originated from within. There he sat down and listened to the song of the earth. Many centuries had passed, and all memory of runekeeper Brogni faded into dust. Thus, there was no dwarf left living to recognize the ancient warrior when he emerged from the deep to join his kin in the battle against demon spawn. Yet they could respect his skill and the hatred he carried for the invaders. With his mace of arcane crystals burning bright, the stranger smote horror after horror, while the spell chants he uttered wreathed the dwarven warriors in protective magic. In time, Brogni revealed his name and his origins, in part, though he would not speak to any soul of the wonders he had witnessed or the mysteries unraveled. For the time being, his only goal was to aid the dwarves in the return to the surface, and to ensure the tainted creatures of Siroth could no longer threaten the world beneath. And so he had pledged himself to the new Mountain King. Now Brogni accompanies the dwarves' host to the world above. He's a strange creature, a cleric of an unknown religion who seems to have no interest in converting others. Yet. But whatever strange rituals he follows, and whatever beliefs he holds, it is clear the Underpriest is no friend to the demon spawn or their minions. That alone makes him a valuable asset to those who seek to further Lumea's goals in Teleria. This is the story for Underpriest Brogni, and I think one of the things I really like about this is it really dives deep into how he ends up developing the magical powers that he has. We know that he's a legendary magic affinity champ in Raid, and this is so interesting because it starts out as he's a runekeeper, he's a cleric for the Dwarven realm, and he seeks further knowledge. He wants to know more about his kin. And so that's what he does, is he dives deep and eventually he finds his answers. And it appears that it ends up being in this magical crystal type fortress. And we can see from this story that from being there for centuries, he absorbs that arcane power and that arcane magic, and that's what pretty much sets him for who he is. And by looking at him, it actually looks like he does have green gems and he has arcane energy on him. So I really like how they interweaved that in. If you enjoyed this story for Underpriest Brogni, please consider subscribing, hitting the like, leaving me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this story for Underpriest. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I look forward to sharing more with you in my next video. Thanks for watching.